era and I have a little bit of a beef right now. Because there are certain things that I would like to bring to air, but he feels the need to censor me. And I keep reminding him with no Smallman in studio today, because she was at Cowboy Carter last night, that he can't stop me. He can only hope to contain me. And even with that, there are limitations to what he can do.
No, Pat, Javante, how are you guys doing today?
We're great. Of course, Pat missed it and just walked in, so he
What was going on with Pat?
Has no idea what's going on.
He was not here pre-show. Did you just show up, Pat?
No, I was here pre-show.
No, Pat's been here.
Oh,
I've been gone for like 5 minutes.
Javante was reporting 10 to 15. Just saying.
It's about 10 minutes, yeah.
He missed the conversation that we were having about the game broadcast last night.
Oh, no.
He missed it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We weren't having it. You were having it.
No, I was having it with Nuno, and he says if you say it on air, you're going to get dumped. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to leave it alone, Nuno, because I don't want to get fired, and I don't want you to get fired. I'm just saying just because you can doesn't mean you should, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay, we're on Sportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio.
That is a pro right there with the hard reset. I like that.
Maybe just for now. A reminder, the NBA playoffs are on ESPN Radio. Catch postseason action on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed. All right.
I don't know how long the Western Conference Finals is going to be on ESPN.
That's what I was about to say.
Because I understand that it's a 1-4, but it feels like the series is already over. My goodness.
It's not a series.
It's not a series. I mean, they ran those boys out of the gym in the third quarter. Now, it started at the end of the first half when it was a one-possession game, and then all of a sudden you look up at halftime and the Thunder have an 8-point lead. A sign of a good team is how they close quarters and halves, and you saw that with OKC last night, and they just kept that momentum that they built at the end of the first half, pushing in the third quarter. And I'm getting to the place now, Ev, where I'm acknowledging that SGA is undeniable. He's
for a title or to get to the finals?
Yes.
Okay.
He's undeniable. He is one of the best players in the world. He deserves to be in the conversation with the very, very, very best. I understand that we look at it when we talk about the best as a Jokic, Giannis affair, but this dude is starting to enter the chat with the way that he's playing. I was wildly impressed with what he did in the third quarter. It was clear and obvious to me, the poise that he showed, the urgency that he played with, that he wasn't going to let happen to his team what we saw happen to the New York Knicks in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals the night before.
That's exactly where my mind went. Is, you know, as I'm watching this game, and for us, let's be honest, and a lot of people listening and watching right now, it's late, right? It's a late night. If that's the end of your day, and if it's the beginning of the day, it means you're probably working, right? So it's when it's a blowout kind of game, like, do I stay with it? Do I not stay with it? And the Knicks Pacers went through my head when it was a double-digit lead late. And I said the exact same thing to myself. I said, I'm going to watch this through, but I don't think the T-Wolves have any shot at doing this because I don't think the Thunder are going to collapse in that spot at all. And what they do throughout the entire game, but specifically the fourth quarter, they outscored the T-Wolves again by 14 in the third quarter last night. They did it in Game 1. They win by 15, and it just doesn't feel like there is an opportunity here for Minnesota to potentially come back. And you talk about, you know, he plays at his own pace. I think sometimes the word pace is not defined properly. We talk about pace as if it's only speed. Pace is literally the speed in which you play at. That doesn't mean fast, right? And the Thunder aren't always fast. They're not always slow. And I think that SGA truly plays at his own pace. He decides if it's going to be fast. He decides if he's going to get to the free throw line. He decides if he's going to shoot a three. He is a phenomenal basketball player, MVP. We know that. It doesn't feel as conventional because it's not as flashy. But at this point, are you ready to say that his resume is significantly better than Anthony Edwards? Because I am. I mean, he's got an MVP. And he's about to go to the finals against Anthony Edwards. And Anthony Edwards is an awesome player. But Anthony Edwards, more likely than not, is going to be a Western Conference finalist 2 years in a row, where SGA is going to be a number one seed, an MVP, and at least in the finals. I think he has surpassed him. I think we got to say that. That if you're going to look at the non-big best player in the league right now, it's him. How can it not be?
Yeah, it is him. I mean,
so that's taking the three you just. I guess Luka.
Yes, SGA is better than Luka Doncic. I'm at that place now.
Okay, go for it.
I'm at that place now. No, because think about what this guy is doing in real time. I said this postseason that I was skeptical of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and in a lot of ways, what we saw in the playoffs would have to validate the gaudy regular season record and the inevitable postseason accolades that this team is going to get. I mean, you go from, Jalen Williams being an all-star to Lou Dort being first-team all-defense, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander winning the MVP, all of those different things that come along with winning 68 games in the regular season. I'm going to need to see that show up in the postseason. I want to know if they're going to be as dominant once it comes to winning time. And they've been that and some. I mean, last night, it was a tale of two teams and a tale of two duos, right? When you start getting to the championship rounds, you need your stars to show up. The stars for the Oklahoma City Thunder showed up. J-Dub and SGA combined for 64 points and one turnover. One turnover. Julius Randle was a DMP in the fourth quarter. That's how bad he was through three. It was absolutely incredible. But when we start thinking about how last night unfolded, it was all about that third quarter thunderstorm that OKC put on. And it was led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who was the mid-range maestro. And then, of course, Jalen Williams coming to the party, too. That dude has come under fire from his performances in prior series to this one, but he stepped up in a big way last night, 26 and 10. But again, in that third quarter, that was the key.
Yep, plus 14.
Between Jalen Williams and SGA, the two scored or assisted on 27 of the 35 points that the Thunder scored in that quarter, including combining to account for 6 of the first 8 field goals that they had in that third quarter. And why that's important is because those guys being proficient early on in that quarter opened the floodgates for everybody else to get involved. That's when you got Queso involved, knocking down shots from deep. That's when you got Chet Holmgren with the rim runs and dunking on fools, getting technical fouls. All of that stuff comes as a result of your two stars leading the way. And you never felt that way from the top duo from Minnesota in last night's game. Ant-Man played well. I'll give him that. He was aggressive early, but Julius Randle was a ghost on the court. I mean, you needed to be that little kid from The Sixth Sense to find him. Like that's what Julius Randle was last night.
But I'm not going to hold that against Julius Randle for this reason. He helped get them there. Ant has to take them to the next spot, right? And obviously Julius Randle has to be better than he was last night. But if you look at Oklahoma City, okay, do you believe in plus minus? Is that a stat you care about?
Yes.
Okay. So plus minus, for those who are unaware, it's the point differential for an individual player when they are on the court. So it's not the totality of the game. It's just in the minutes that they play. It's remarkable when you look at the Stars last night. SGA, when he was on the court, the Thunder outscored the Wolves by 25 points. When Jalen Williams was on the court, the Thunder outscored the Wolves by 17 points. When the aforementioned defensive first team, Lou Dort, was on the court, the Thunder outscored the Wolves by 29 points. So that's plus. Conversely, Anthony Edwards, 32 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, was 1 of 9 from behind the arc. When he was on the court, his team was outscored by 22 points. I'm not blaming him. This is not meant to be, it is his fault. It is meant to just simply point out Anthony Edwards as this game changer is not happening right now.
But why are you not blaming him?
No, I'm saying it's not totality of it. It could have nothing to do with him in a specific moment. It's just not a good thing when you wake up in the morning. If you're the best player on the team,
you're the best player on the team,
and you're a minus 22. I mean, that's rough.
Dog, you in the conference finals. In the first 2 games, granted you're on the road, but you get blown out by double digits. That is completely unacceptable.
I agree.
That's unacceptable. I agree. There's no reason, based on what I've seen in the first 2 games, to think that we're going to have a material difference in what we see when we go to Minnesota on Saturday. Nothing. The only thing that people will point to is saying, oh, role players play better at home. It's the playoffs. They'll play better at home. Well, those role players can play better at home, and you still get smoked. The urgency that Minnesota plays with versus what we're seeing from OKC is night and day. I'm sitting there watching the game with my wife, Mel, yesterday, and, she's not a huge sports fan, but even she admitted, she said, it looks like we're watching 2 different sports when OKC has the ball versus what the Minnesota Timberwolves are doing. She says it doesn't even look like the same sport. That's how far OKC is ahead of the Minnesota Timberwolves. They are leaps and bounds better than them. And so when we start talking about, well, whose fault is it that Minnesota is in this rut, I think you have to start with Anthony Edwards being better, having more urgency. But I also think we have to get to the place of acknowledging that this is just a much better team. They're better coached. They played with more energy. They're more disciplined. They had more urgency. Across the board, they're just better than the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they might just be better than everybody.
And, oh, by the way, they ain't going anywhere for a while.
Oh, we'll get to that.
I mean, if you think about it, they have first.
Xin chào cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng với tiêu đề là vườn rau.
Đợt nhạc đát ga quận Cầu Giấy.
Nhớ quá.
Nhưng mà anh